Why I say I know what hunger is. We lived here in a tent in Alford. We used to live in tents. Not just my dad and my brothers. I remember running around in Alford, reading gardens. I remember stealing. I remember looking in the garbage bins. It wouldn't have happened if it wasn't for residential school. My dad was a good provider. I used to remember eating wild meat when I was a little girl. You know, garden, the potatoes and everything. That's why I say residential schools, they destroyed a hell of a lot. And to this day, even when I talk to my people, when I talk to somebody that has been to residential school and they tell me their story, they're shaking. This is the truth. This is what happened. I lost my language. I lost my culture. I lost my traditions. I lost my spirituality because we weren't allowed to talk our language in them schools. We couldn't defend ourselves. And you know, our churches used to be full before residential school. I remember that, walking to church, skipping along. The churches used to be full, especially on Easter. Easter was a special day. You got to get a new dress. I remember my uncle. He only had one leg, but he was sewing at night. I didn't realize he was making me a little dress. I always remember that. There were so much losses. There were so many things that we couldn't even talk for ourselves. And in school, residential school, girls on one side, boys on one side. You did not get to talk to your brother for a whole bloody year. And there was no such things as boyfriends and girlfriends. I don't know how I became boyfriends with this guy. I went to school with him. He was in the same residential school, but we happened to be friends somehow along the way. But because I think we were friends because we dealt with the same thing. We used to talk about what happened to us. When I first found out, when I told him what happened to me in school, and when he told me what happened to him in school, I couldn't believe it because at that time I didn't know that men do things like that. You know, when them steps, I used to hear them coming, and I used to just keep still, real still, hoping they go by my bed. No wonder we came out angry out of them schools. We were full of anger because that's what they put in us. We were angry because we lost our language. We couldn't talk to each other in our little language what we had. Today, I see a lot of young people committing suicides. You know, there's a lot of parents out there that didn't deal with their issues, that didn't deal with what I dealt with. I know how to love. I know how to help because I worked with elderly people for 28 years, 29 years. They taught me how to get my language back. I was a hell of a poor parent. I didn't know how to parent because I lost that when I lost my mom and dad. When I was away from them for 10 years, 11 years. You know, I always wish I could turn the clock back and parent my kids. I only had 3, but I didn't do a very good parenting. They didn't even know how to hug because I never hugged them. They were 12, 13 years old when we finally quit drinking. It was too late. My little girl, same thing happened to her, what happened to me when I was a little girl. And today, she still deals with it. We have little circles in my little family, and we talk. We talk so we can forgive each other for what we've done. When I got married, I told him, I said, if I ever have a little girl, she will not what happened to me. It's going to be a little girl that will grow up to be a nice girl. But it did happen to her because of my drinking. We drank. We drank and drank. We were rubbish. We were alcoholics. This guy wasn't even allowed in Melford. We walked with our heads down. It took me a long time to be proud of what I am and who I am. And to be able to say, I love you. And to be able to hug him. You know, I deprived him of what he was supposed to get, what we're supposed to give to our husbands. Because I hated men. I married him because I wanted protection. Just like I told him one time, I used to walk around, I said, just like there was a sign that said sexually abuse me. Because everywhere I went, just like that's what I was looking for. But I wasn't. You know, I'm not the only woman. There's a lot of women, our Indian women, that went through the same thing. A lot of our Indian people. I don't want pity. I want the same thing what I've done, to be forgiven. It's not our fault the way we are. You know? Long ago, we were so spiritual. We had nice traditions. We had good food, good homes. I lost a son, 2008, my firstborn. When you're drinking, you have to fight in front of our kids. You have to clean up our mess after a big party. I always remember one time, my little girl, she was only 9 years old. We were drunk Christmas Eve. They come and look at us in the bar. Look for us in the bar at the National Bar. My oldest son came in. Mom, do you have any money? Remember you said you had Christmas presents for us in Melford. Yeah, I got money. I went and took all his money away and just took enough for me. I gave him 700, I remember. Go and get the groceries and get your gifts out. I'll come home after and cook. I didn't go home. I got drunk. I was laid out in the morning. I smelled something. I thought it was dreaming. I smelled sweet stuff and come on, Mom, it's Christmas. My little girl was standing there with a little apron. 9 years old, she made Christmas. She cooked a turkey. She cooked some pies and cake. My job. And they've been packing their own Christmas. They even had this old lady that took them to town told me they even bought a Christmas tree. You had to tie it on top of the car. Evelyn, you got beautiful kids. We're just running around, such like buying this, buying that. Never forget that. I had to live with that. In 1981, we quit drinking. In 1978, we kept fighting, angry, not doing everything what was supposed to be done with our parents, although we were sober. That's when I seen this sign at the school, inner child workshop, men and women. Inner child, what the hell is that? So we both went. They really dug in your guts and really brought out. I cried so much there, I just had headaches. What they were saying was right. Just the rest of that was. That's why I was so angry. Hateful. I even turned away from my Lord.